Hitler. That name carries more weight than perhaps any other in history. His name is universally synonymous with evil. Although most people may understand how evil he was, many know shockingly little about his past or the true extent of his evilness. Adolf was born on April 20th, 1889, in Braunau am Inn, Austria. His mother, Carla Potzel, was the third wife of his father, Alois Hitler. Although he was born in Austria, he spent much of his youth in Bavaria. Hitler attended Volksschule, a state-run private school in Austria. As a boy, he became an intense German nationalist, despite being from Austria-Hungary. In 1900, Alois sent Adolf to trade school, which he purposefully flunked out of. In 1907, he went to Vienna, where he was rejected by the Academy of Fine Arts Vienna twice. That December, his mother died, and he began living as a homeless vagrant. In 1914, Hitler enlisted in the Bavarian army. During the Battle of the Somme, Hitler was wounded and received the Iron Cross. In 1918, he was temporarily blinded due to a mustard gas attack. During the war, he shaved his mustache into its distinctive shape in order to better fit in a gas mask. After the war ended, he was one of many to believe the stabbed-in-the-back myth that Jewish and Marxist politicians ended the war while the German military should have won. In Weimar, Germany, Hitler joined the Reichstag as an infiltrator. He was sent to spy on the German Workers' Party, a small fringe organization, in 1919. On September 12th, Chancellor, the chairman of the DAP, offered Hitler a spot in the party as he admired his speaking abilities. The German army ordered Hitler to join the party to act as a better spy. He was soon given the party member number 555. They added 500 to the number to make them seem much larger. So in truth, it would have been 55. Hitler quickly became enthralled in the party's policies and anti-Semitism, and soon became the party leader. Hitler rebranded it to its now infamous name, Socialistdeutsches Arbeiterparty, or the NSDAP. Hitler also designed the party's infamous banner, a black swastika with a white circle on a red field. In 1921, the NSDAP saw internal conflict as large portions of the party wanted to merge with the German Socialist Party. Hitler threatened to resign and only remained under the condition that he was promoted to party chairman. Hitler spread the ideas of the NSDAP through his passionate beer hall speeches. The Nazi Party created a paramilitary organization known as the Sturmabteilung, the Stormtroopers. In the early days, the Nazis didn't have a coherent ideology as a party. What was common was the opposition to both the Treaty of Versailles and capitalism, the adoption of some socialist policies, and violent anti-Semitism. In 1923, Hitler made his first major attempt to seize power in Germany. With assistance from World War I hero General Erich Ludendorff, the Nazi Party staged a coup known as the Beer Hall Putsch. On November 8th, Hitler interrupted a speech by the de facto ruler of Bavaria, Gustav Ritter von Kahr. Kahr, like Hitler, wanted to install a nationalist dictatorship, but he didn't want to do it with Hitler. Hitler used a handgun to force Kahr to pledge his support. The following day, Hitler attempted to use Kahr, thus the command of the local military and police forces, to overthrow the Bavarian government, but failed when Kahr withdrew his support. On November 11th, Hitler was arrested for high treason. In February of 1924, he was put on trial and sentenced to 5 years in prison. While in prison, he dictated Mein Kampf to Rudolf Hess, his deputy. Mein Kampf acted as both Hitler's autobiography and as a detailed explanation of his ideology. In December, he was let out early, having been in prison for barely over 1 year. By the time he had gotten out, the Nazi Party was banned in Bavaria. In January of 1925, he promised to only seek power by democratic means, allowing the restriction on the party to be let up by the next month. He was, however, banned from speaking in Bavaria after only a year. To circumvent this ban, he appointed the brothers Gregor and Otto Strasser to gather left-wing support, and Joseph Goebbels to act as his propagandist. On October 24, 1929, the United States stock market crashed. The crash hurt every economy across the world, becoming one of the leading causes of the Great Depression. Hitler took full advantage of this dire situation, making promises to fix the economy, create jobs, and get rid of the Treaty of Versailles. The election in September of 1930 saw the Nazi Party reaching double digits in the percentage of votes for the first time, about 18%. Hitler had long renounced his Austrian citizenship. He had done so in 1925, yet didn't have a German citizenship yet, thus was at risk of constant deportation. In 1932, a Nazi party member in the German government appointed him as an administrator for the delegation from Brunswick, making him a German citizen. In the 1932 elections, Hitler ran against the former World War I general and incumbent president Paul von Hindenburg. Hitler came in second in the election, but was able to gain significant traction in the political theater. Shortly after Hindenburg's re-election, several powerful businessmen and industrialists wrote to Hindenburg, urging him to appoint Hitler as Chancellor. As the government was still rather ineffective, Hindenburg felt he had no choice but to reluctantly appoint Hitler and appease the people. On January 30th, 1933, Hitler was sworn in as Chancellor. He immediately appointed Wilhelm Frick as the Minister of the Interior, and Hermann Göring as Minister of the Interior of Prussia. On February 27th, the Reichstag was set on fire. The Nazis were quick to name this as a communist plot. While many historians today believe it was communist, there are still many who believe the Nazis themselves caused the fire. The following day, the Reichstag fire decree of 28 February was passed, nullifying countless civil liberties and allowing detention without trial. In light of the new Nazi control of the Reichstag, on March 21st, a ceremony was held in a church in Potsdam to demonstrate the unity between President Hindenburg's old Prussian elite and Chancellor Hitler's Nazi revolutionaries. As the Nazis still didn't hold a majority, Hitler brought forth the Enabling Act, allowing him to pass any laws without consent of the Reichstag for the next 4 years. On March 23rd, the Reichstag convened to vote. SA troops stood guard, ensuring the Nazis would have support. The Communist Party members were all arrested prior to the vote, so the only opposition were the Center Party and the Social Democrats. The Center Party eventually gave in, resulting in a 441 to 84 vote in favor of the Enabling Act. Following this, Adolf Hitler was officially the dictator of Germany. As there's so much to say about Hitler, I'm splitting this video in half. Once it is released, I will make sure to link the next video here. I decided it would be almost pointless to try to go over Hitler in any less detail than this. In order to understand how and why a man could be so evil, you cannot skip over any part of his life. While most of the time I try to keep my opinions to myself, I feel that on this video it is very important to say that I in no way support any of Hitler's ideologies. Also, due to the sensitive nature of this topic, I may have to disable the comments. That being said, I would very much like to leave the comments open to promote discussion. So I will immediately delete any comment that may jeopardize that ability, i.e. pro-Nazi ideas. All that aside, I hope you have learned something from this video. This is Matthew, and I hope to see you next time.
Goodbye, goodbye, went a tear, baby dear, from your eye. Though it's hard to part, I know, I'll be sick of the death to go. Don't cry, don't die, there's a silver lining in the sky. Bonsoir, old thing, cheerio, chin chin, na boo, toodaloo, good